Hello friends, welcome to the channel. Bob here. Welcome to this is the year 2060. I've been playing Everquest P99 now for 57 years, and yeah, my shaman is still level 52. No, actually no, it's 2021. 2021. Happy New Year. It's, feels the same. I don't know why people say, "Oh, good riddance to 2020." Well, the number at the end changes, but there's anything else? Not really. No, went in for all that garbage. But anyway, Happy New Year anyway. This is the blue server, as you can probably tell. I'm on the barge. I'm not quite sure where I'm going actually. I appeared on a dock and I've got on the boat just because it turned up, and I thought like a bit of an immersive boat ride. Yeah, and I don't know if this is going towards Velius or away from Velius. I should know, but it's been a while. But anyway, yeah, we're on a super duper gnome constructed boat, I'm going to assume. The reason I'm here is I just kind of logged in this morning, and this is the time of year. Actually, I probably do this a few times a year, but this is the time of year where I look back on my time in Everquest over the last year, moan about the fact that I didn't make any progress really of significance, and re-roll a new character. And I thought, well, I'll do the same again this year. Well, no, I mean I'm kind of I think as time has gone on, I've kind of got over the green thing a bit, I would say. I know a few people kind of went back to blue because that's where their power base was, and something I've been considering for quite some time myself. Whether it's a good idea or not, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that I don't feel attached to green anymore as I did initially. I thought that the releasing of expansions would be I would find it a bit more exciting than I have done, to be honest. I think it's because I think there are certain things in games that if you miss them for whatever reason, that's kind of where the fun is really. Like sitting around. I remember when sort of Classic went live, WoW Classic, a little while ago. Sitting around, kind of keep clicking, waiting for your server to come up, so you can quickly log in. And I think it's the same with any game, even if it's an emulated one like this one. Live comes out, but you don't log in until a day or two later. QNARC comes out, and you're not there at release, kind of waiting for it to happen. You log in a day or two later. Getting items, didn't really pan out as I was hoping. I think a lot of the I guess the way that last year went probably had something to do with it, but I didn't think it would be, probably stupidly so, really, because there are some people who live by P99, quite a lot of people actually, and I'm not criticising that. That's just how it is. And so, like, getting those legacy items. Oh, we're passing some scenery. Let's have a look at that as we go. Yeah, and getting those legacy items was obviously a big thing. And there were a lot of people who wanted to do it. Enough people for me to not be a realistic option in the end. So I think all those things taken into consideration have kind of meant that my kind of interest and excitement has waned. It'll probably be the same when Velius comes out. I can't imagine I'll be able to be there when it first comes up. And so I think those kind of things are partly what you plan a new server for, I think. And if you can't do them, that's life. And I think that for me, my excitement has just been slightly tempered because of that. So what does that mean for this year for Everquest? I think I've logged into Blue and had a little look around at my characters today, and I think I might as well just give you a character view. No, you kind of can't do that. Well, you kind of can. Yeah, I kind of logged in today because I do. Let's get the. Can we get the HUD up? Yeah. 7 years ago, I had a just over less than 7 years ago. When I first started, I didn't quite know what I was doing, but just less than 7 years ago, I had a plan. I can't remember, is it 7 or 8 years? I can't remember how long I've been on P99. and that was to have this bit here say Oracle of Ralosek. That was basically, that turned out to be my goal, and for a lot of reasons over the period of the last 7 or 8 years, it sounds ridiculous in that period of time, but it hasn't happened for various reasons. I had another Ogre Shaman before this one who actually got to 54, 55, I think, when I started again. And I must say that I know there's one or two people particularly who love these videos. Oh yes, they get really cross. I can't believe it, he's starting again, or oh, he's never going to get anywhere, he's killing the same mobs, he's just doing the same thing. And I would say that, but I do probably occasionally moan about that. Maybe that's why I bring it up. But I think sometimes I think people kind of get the wrong end of the stick, because it's a bit like, it's all like all social media. You listen to something or you read something and it calculates in some way, you know. So when I'm talking about, well, I'm going to start again, or actually I love it, you know, I love starting again. I love that fresh feeling, trying out new areas, which I do actually do, believe it or not. I love it, you know, and that's probably why I've done it so much. I've had 4 or 5 shaman now who have kind of reached at least 50. I think there's probably 2 of them who you've never even seen on video, or maybe 1 actually. There was a barbarian that I think I did do a stream or something with. Because I love it, I enjoy it, and I think that's kind of where this sticking point has come from for me over the years. Is I get to a point where I think I'd be honest, like I would love to be in a guild of kind of like-minded people, and I would love to group with like-minded people. Where I think we're actually approaching Velius. I didn't realise. Is this Velius? But we might as well get off. I want to check how much gold I've got, platinum I should say, on this character. But I'm forgetting if everything here is like, it's not aggro, are they? No. Okay, so we're in Velius. I should have known this is where the boat was going, but I didn't. So we're going to get off. Excellent. Oops. So here we are in Velius. I'm recording this in a high resolution 1080p, so I do apologise if you can't see some of the text and stuff, but it's not really important for this video. I'm just going to point out some things and go from there. Yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, I do sometimes find the reaction quite funny to these videos. But I mean, as I'm sure many of you who have been here and kind of take in what I'm saying, not in the right way, but in the manner that it's meant, you know, you'll know that I enjoy starting again and playing through and doing videos and stuff. That's not to say that I'm kind of starting again here. It's just this is sometimes you know, I'm considering it, but this is something that generally happens at this time of year. And I think what happens is, I'll be perfectly honest with you, as I said before, I'd love to be in a guild with like-minded people. I'd love to be able to group regularly with like-minded people. But I do, as I've kind of talked about before, I do have this kind of like social anxiety thing that even at 50 years old, it doesn't really go away. You kind of learn to manage it and stuff, but I've never found a way of completely getting rid of it. And it does extend into what you're doing socially in other areas, even if it's virtual, even if these people can't see your face, I've got no idea who you are. And I think what happens is, as I get higher in level, I don't think it's much of a problem on the servers at the moment, particularly blue, I guess, because it's kind of quieter. But what I found is that as you get higher up in level, the areas where you can gain experience from kind of become smaller, so you generally find there's more people there. And you know, I'll be perfectly honest, what I often find is I go to an area, and even if there's someone else leveling there, you know, I kind of think to myself, oh, maybe they'll ask to group, or you know, I don't want to kind of be fighting around them in case something happens, you know, all that kind of stuff, which is pretty stupid, really. But then that's how the mind works, isn't it? That's how it all plays out when those kind of things happen. And it's not that I don't want to group with them, or I'm antisocial or whatever, But I kind of feel that there's then this kind of exchange of the gift of not reliance. I'm not quite sure of the word I'm looking for, but you're exchanging a gift with them that says that I'm now going to be here with you and we're going to be levelling and whatnot. Of commitment, I guess, because at any moment I might just feel really poorly and have to log off and that kind of thing. And so you kind of try to avoid these situations, which is frustrating. Frustrating for me, frustrating for you watching. Maybe this year coming, I'm moving house soon, so maybe this year coming, we're hoping for things to be a bit more settled and maybe my health will improve a bit more. So those kind of things are not too much of a, those are the kind of things that are not on my mind all the time. But it's a strange thing how the mind works. I've spoken about it before, and that's kind of how it works for me. And I think that's why my characters kind of reach a certain point, 54, 55. I'm not saying you can't find places to solo at that point, and I'm not saying that soloing is the best option, or it's what you should be doing, or it's even what I should be doing. We should all do what we want to do, essentially. But that's kind of like, I think that's kind of like one of the barriers that I've found to, getting that, as I said, getting that Oracle of Ralos Sec. But it's still a goal, even after all this time. Just having a little look around. Snow cougars. As you probably know, I love winter environments, particularly in the winter. Have a little wander over here. Awesome. Yeah, so what does that all mean? Like, why have I logged into blue? Well, I was kind of, as I said, I'm kind of over the green thing a bit, I think. It hasn't really worked out. For me, if it's worked out for you in the way that you wanted, that's amazing. It hasn't really worked out in the way that I was hoping for, generally. And that's life. That's how it goes. So I'm kind of looking at what to do this year, what I need to do, kind of, I know it sounds very dramatic, but I guess kind of when you're in my situation, this image you see here is quite important, because you're not able to do stuff that you used to be able to do when you were a bit healthier. So these kind of things become more important. So I understand that this is probably like first world problems and who gives a damn, but if you're fed up with listening to this kind of stuff, just switch off now. That's my recommendation. But so I'm kind of looking at, what can I do this year, maybe to move towards getting that Oracle of Ralos Sec status. But the other thing I'm thinking about as well, and I was kind of talking about like maybe starting again, probably on blue, is that I've always had this kind of like desire, like great desire to have like a playlist on my YouTube channel. Because this is what a lot of this is about. This is what you're here for. We're all here for YouTube. As much as I hate Google and I hate YouTube, this is generally where everyone goes. So, I've spoken to people who have kind of moved to other platforms. It hasn't worked for them, particularly smaller users, because they find that even if people enjoy watching your content, they won't all go there. So this is kind of the place where we all congregate. And YouTube is a big part of my kind of MMO and particularly like Everquest experiences. You kind of experiencing it as we go along. And I always wanted to have a playlist that was like a leveling guide from 1 to 60, plus some videos on like shaman tactics and that kind of thing. And that's something that I still have a great desire for. And that's something that might be coming up in the future. That's probably more likely to happen than anything else. And that if I do that would probably mean that I would start again. But my power base on blue is such that that's the thing. Like I would generally stick with green, but I think on blue I've been very lucky, and one or two people have been very generous to me on blue. And I don't think I've been lucky enough to get the power base on green that I've got on blue. I mean, I know that these items are not crucial, but like just having a fungus tunic, I hope you can see the text, but having like a fungus tunic is a big thing. JBB is also a big thing. I think I could probably afford to buy one of those on some point on green. But there's a lot of other stuff here that is reasonable. It's not raid stuff. but it's kind of like reasonably expensive. And yeah, and as I said, my power base on blue is so much higher than green, you know, and I think to myself, well, what do I have any ties to green? I'm really not really. I'm not in a guild. I know that some of you play on green, and I enjoy talking to you, but I don't have a regular group, so I haven't got those ties. I don't think there's any difference between green and blue, like from a classic point of view. I think that, I mean, I can see here that I've kind of got my UI, like Duxy UI set up. I can see my mana and experience level and all that kind of thing. But I think generally things within the game are the same. I don't think, maybe you can correct me, I don't think green is any more classic than blue. Yeah, I'm not sure. But maybe that's something that you may or may not be aware of. I think we should probably just sit in front of the fire here. Because even a ogre of Ranos Zek will get cold now and again. Yeah, so depending on what I decide to do, I could stick with green. But as I said, like my power base is much less. I don't think I'd be as lucky on green because it's a much newer server, so there's going to be a lot more people who want all this stuff. Blue's been going for years, so when I started playing, people have built up a certain power level, and as I said, one or two you because of that were able to be like really generous, and that's how I got a couple of the really good items that I've got. So I've really been debating as to whether sticking with green is the right thing. I don't think there's anything between the two servers that's different, maybe apart from the fact that Velius is already out here. Obviously the economies are different, but that's never really been much of a concern for me personally. I've got a really kitted out enchanter on this server as well. So yeah, I just thought I would. I logged in. I wasn't going to do a video, but I thought I would do a video just talking about what I'm doing, because why not? We're all kind of experiencing it with me, as you have been for some years. So there's going to be. Oops, there's a cougar coming, isn't there? Don't really want to get attacked by him if I can avoid it. Yeah, so there's going to be plenty of now. I've kind of cut out some MMOs that I was playing. I've kind of got Worm, but at the moment Worm I kind of really just log into to tend to my animals and I log out again. So it's just System Project Gorgon. So there's like 2 or 3 that I've cut off essentially, don't play anymore. And that means more time for those games. Cyberpunk has come out, but I've finished that and I'm playing for it again. But now I've finished it, I don't feel that I need to. I'm enjoying kind of logging in less than I was playing that to make progress. So it'll be more time for Everquest on P99, and I'm literally just deciding what to do. And I think, as I said, for the last few years, my 2 goals have been to earn Oracle of Ralos Zek, and to do to have like a playlist of a coherent kind of leveling and tactics guide for Shaman from 1 to 60. So maybe that's where it's leading us. And as I said, I've got a nice. I'm not gonna. If I do that, I'm gonna twink. Obviously, why not? So that might be quite fun. Yeah, and as I said before, I enjoy that as well. So there are my 2 goals. I could carry on with Rune, I guess. Just make a list of leveling spots for me to visit. But see, what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to go through, do a leveling guide with a shaman that was already high level. I kind of wanted to do it as I was leveling, and I kind of did it a bit, but obviously that stopped by the wayside. But anyway, enough chat. I'm not sure what you guys have been doing. Like, did you go back to blue? Is there any difference? Was green everything you was hoped it would be? Was it not? No idea. But you could tell me if you want. Why not? Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you again soon.